Why, hello there. This video took a lot of effort to make. I'm saying that and it hasn't even started, but I really didn't feel like making this video today. And so just by getting dressed and putting on some lipstick and a little shimmer and this obnoxiously colorful shirt, I'm like trying to trick myself to be in the mood. But the truth is, I'm in a very, I don't want to call it a boring season, but I will call it a maintenance season. And we'll get to that. How to survive those like boring maintenance seasons of your life where your days are filled with nothing but agendas and routine and schedules and meetings. And it's like it's all the work required to get to the free, flowy, fun season. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into I got a few topics. Um, let's first start off with the Olympics. Hasn't that been just amazing to watch? And I have no shame admitting that I spend 8 to 10 hours a day just horizontal with the Olympics on. I rugby, what? Diving, huh? Equestrian jumping. I have never had any interest in any of these sports, but watching people compete at such a high level, it draws me in and it just shows me man, people are so unique and fun and interesting. And it's like to dedicate your life to this singular moment and yeah, like, and to make the most of it or to not make the most of it, there's been a lot of upsets and disappointments. And it's just been really fascinating. And I'm just like in these rabbit holes. And I'm going down all of these rabbit holes of like the athletes' journeys to get to this point and like when they started and who was their major inspiration. And it's just been like, I don't know, it's been fun. And it's also allowed me to step into the gamification of my own life. And I saw someone, gosh, I always love to give credit. There's like an actual quote about up-leveling your life and treating it like a game, but I don't remember who said it, and I apologize. But basically, the concept was if you, I don't know, what were some of the games that we played growing up? I mean, Mario Kart, that's not a good one. Super Mario Brothers, maybe, but you like do as much as you can to like get extra mushrooms, to get extra power, to get to that next level where you have different challenges, but you know that you're advancing in a game and you know that you're advancing in the like in life. We know that life will bring its challenges, but when you're doing things that up level your character, your skill sets, your personal development, your habits, it might not feel good in the moment. It might not even be fun. You might resent the entire process, but you know when you get to that next level, you'll be like, "Oh, this is why there's not many that make it here." Like, "Oh, this is why like yeah, it's worth it. It's always worth it." And I have to just like remember, like looking back on my life, all the seasons and periods, very lonely nights, like tearful nights, fearful nights, where I just had no idea what I was doing, but I put my head down and I continued to work. And it was because I was building something that I didn't see like done before. I was doing it my way. I was doing it in a way that was still like very new. The industry was still being pioneered. Travel blogging was a thing. You could have a travel blog, but not many people were making a full-time living from it. And even fewer were creating an actual business out of it. So I had been blogging for 10 years prior to that. So I already knew that like those 10 years of writing in my blog, which was like a diary blog, and then I had a sports blog and a music blog. But all of these blogs up till that point was like helping me develop the skill set for storytelling. I didn't know how I would transfer those skills and like what it would be for. But I knew once it got to that travel niche, I was like, all right, I'm going all in. And I'm going to tell stories in a way that's just not common. I'm going to talk about just issues that are different, socioeconomic issues, politics, like no-go zones, solicitations, like real firsthand experiences of my travels. And that just blew my account up. And I was willing to like wake up like at 4 a.m. to hit like a monument and get like that Instagrammable photo that would get shared thousands of times and reposted and featured on all of these travel accounts. But it was like I knew it was worth it. And I just like was so persistent about the process and I'd go back to my Airbnb or hostel and I would like sleep. And then I would wake up at noon again and I would go back to that actual museum or church or whatever and then actually enjoy it as a tourist. So it was such a grind and it was such a hustle. I think the hardest part is I was so isolated during the process because I didn't I knew that I was doing it in a way that was setting me apart. And so once you start doing things differently, you also get a lot of attention that isn't always positive. So I saw some travel bloggers start to like make comments at me and be like just mean to me because I think they just saw that like, well, that's not how you're supposed to do it. But for me, I'm like, there are no rules. And I was willing to create like a life my own way. Like I was willing to do things my own way and just, yeah, I just remember it, just feeling like, okay, well, if I can't, you know, yeah, like I don't want to like limit myself to like fit in with everyone else. So let me just keep standing out. And eventually, like people, and this is no shade whatsoever, but I think people who didn't do anything beyond the bare minimum, like they either like they quit their blog altogether or they got a job or they just stopped because it's not sustainable to do what's easy. That's good. Hmm. See this? That was good. It's not sustainable to do what's easy. And I was never afraid of hard work. I was never afraid of work, period, because I knew that the work would accumulate and build this life resume that I would be really proud of at the end of my life. So, yeah, I say all that to say right now, it doesn't feel fun to think about the next level, but I know it's like waiting for me. And I've very much outgrown my environment. I know that that next environment is waiting for me. And this is a very privileged take, but I know that the reason I want to move every 5 years, whether it's to a different country or city, is because I need that new stimulus of like a different environment to like trigger creativity in a different way. And this is like my dream apartment. I've loved this place. I have 180 degrees of floor to ceiling windows. It's beautiful. I get so much light. At the same time, I've outgrown this space. And it's like I'm walking through every day, both mourning and celebrating the person I became in this space, but also knowing that I'm ready to leave it. And yeah, it's still like a daily waiting game. This building that I want it's in such great demand. Like, I mean, it makes sense that it's hard to get availability because it is like top. It's just a top. The amenities, the location, the looks, the floor plans, the pricing, like it makes sense why it's like very scarcely available. So it's like a daily check for availability. And I've let myself be okay with saying, like, if the floor plan that I desire isn't available, I'm willing to put half my stuff in storage, give the other half away, and yeah, full time go to Europe. So that's kind of the plan as of now. So I don't know. But I guess I just wanted to share just that game part because I don't know if you also are in a season where you're like, you're doing enough and you're like, I don't know, maybe you're like, you know what it takes to stay in the game, but you don't care to advance in the game. And so you're just at the same level. But after a while, it gets boring because you're like, oh, I know where the traps are. I know the secret door. I know where the skeleton, and you're just going through the motions. And when you get to that place, it gets comfortable, and comfort is also a trap. So I just wanted to encourage you because I have been there. I'm kind of right there right now, and I have to give myself that daily reminder. So right now, it's like maintenance mode, and those boring seasons of your life where you're showing up, you're doing the work, you're doing the basics, like you're doing the reading, you're doing the working out, you're doing the eating healthy, like all of that is required to advance and up level yourself to the next, yeah, the next place, but it's not fun. And it's like you're just maintaining what you know you need to do. And it's a boring season. And there are some days I'm just like laying on the floor, like twiddling my thumbs. Like, I need action, I need excitement, I need adventure. And then I remember I'll be in seasons where I'm having adventure and I'm like, I need stability, I need stillness, I need bed, you know? So it's like take advantage of the season you're in and cherish it for what it does bring you because an entire life or a full year of just maintenance mode is not fun. But an entire year of too much adventure could also throw you off balance and might not be sustainable. So just appreciating every season of life for what it does bring you. And then letting go of control. So I have like two wedding dresses and I went with something very unique because it's like an elopement, you're kind of like able to push the boundaries of like what you want. And so I'm kind of, it's a mix of DIY, but also like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited, but I'm nervous because the full look hasn't come together. And my measurements, like I need to get it tapered because I'm bottom heavy, really thick thighs, but my waist is smaller and my chest area is smaller. So my hips are really disproportionate to my upper body. And it makes, but then my arms are huge. So it's like, it's just really, it's, yeah, I got to figure out, yeah, like, hmm. I don't know. I literally just tried on a couple dresses like an hour ago, so it's still fresh in my mind. But I'm excited for the image because I see the potential. I um I also see the possibility to have both sizes. So there's like one size that's a little bit looser and then one size that's a little bit tight. And I'm like somewhere in the middle. So I'm just like, oh, do I lose 7 pounds and maintain -7 pounds to fit into the small, so it's a lot of pressure. So a part of me is like, they were both like really affordable, which I'm super proud of. I had a budget in mind, but I was also like, it's for the photos, but I'm really proud of what I was able to find. So yeah, they were super affordable. So I was able to get two sizes of the same dress. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is just like bringing both and seeing like which version I end up being on the day. I don't know how people do this with like one really fancy and expensive dress. Like I know women will spend like thousands, like 10, I've seen dresses that are tens of thousands. And I've gone down certain rabbit holes of just seeing how expensive these things get. And I'm just like, it's crazy. Like that's a whole year's worth of travel for me. Like, yeah. So I'm again just really investing in the marriage more than the wedding and feeling really good about that. So that's that. But letting go of control overall. Like I'm gonna eat as good as I can. I had cookies yesterday, but I deserved it. I earned it. I'm gonna eat as good as I can, but still, yeah, still let go of like forcing myself to make something work. Because at the end of the day, everything is vanity. Like what actually matters is that I found my person and we get to have a ceremony in the way that we want, where we want. Like that's the win. I don't need to control every detail or every aspect. And if I can lean into that and remember that, it's going to be a really fun time. So there's that. Another topic I want to talk about is overcoming awkward seasons in friendships. It's so interesting because I've been seeing a lot of things, whether it's on my YouTube homepage or just people's podcasts, where like friendship breakups are like everywhere. And I'm just like, man, um, I haven't had one for a few years, but I mean, everyone, I don't think you can I don't want to say overcome, avoid like, and sometimes friendship breakups, like, it sounds dramatic, but the breakup doesn't have to be dramatic. Like, literally, it's growing apart, it's moving through different seasons. It's just life. And I think sometimes we also, like, while we talk about the friendship breakups, we miss the conversation around the awkward seasons of friendships where one friend might be going through something, or one friend has checked out, or one friend is acting a little bit out of character, and how you approach those conversations, or how many chances you give them after you let them know what they're doing is not okay. And yeah, like I feel like that's been a huge lesson this year. I've been like having to have those hard conversations and learning so much from it, learning about what I am willing to tolerate and like what's not okay, what I'm also leaving space for people to grow into, and also defining what friendship looks like for me in this next few years, in this next season. Every time you make a life change, whether it is moving cities or changing jobs, changing careers, getting married, I think it's important to do like a little bit of a friendship audit and evaluate the type of people that are giving you input. And I think I was reading it in the Bible devotional today where it was talking about like, yeah, the Rooted Life devotional on the Bible app, the U version app. It was talking about let God control the outcome, but like you must control the input. And if you're not being mindful of like the words, the music, the movies, like what you're actually putting into your brain, like, if you're not being mindful of that, it can be very easy to get detracted and derailed from your path. And I have been very mindful of that. And it works. Like, it's so powerful what guarding your brain can do. I don't watch scary movies. I don't watch thrillers. I don't watch gore. Um, anything like that could, yeah, I just don't. I don't do horror. Like I just there's enough horror in the world, so I wouldn't like voluntarily add more of it to my life. And because of that, I think it allows me to have a little bit more of an optimistic view of people and the world because I don't litter my brain with like the most tragic things, fictional stories and tragic things that are being produced for the sake of entertainment. So yeah, just wanted to talk about that. And then as we're in August, which is crazy, I need to drink some water on that one. Crazy, crazy. So August, September, October, November. Okay. I thought it was 5 months, but I had to be sure. We have 5 months left in the year. And usually, if you look back on every year, there's a defining moment of that year. And I'm just like, what's my defining moment? Like, yeah, getting married. But if I'm talking about professionally, like what do I want to be my defining moment? And like working with the end in mind and reverse engineering from the moment that you want to be celebrating or thinking about this year, um, what you want this year to like symbolize. So yeah, I've been just like really keeping that top of mind. I talk about futureme.org all the time because it's a great way to just like keep myself accountable on a monthly basis and just check in with my goals overall. And I think I've also allowed myself to be in seasons this year where I don't have like hard goals, whether it's financial goals or book goals. Like I want to read this many books a year. Like I've just kind of dropped some of those goals this year because I just wanted to exist and see what it would be like to flow through the year. And that's been nice. I think naturally I'm an ambitious person, so I'm always going to be pursuing or in pursuit. And I think just letting myself or letting this side of me flourish has been just interesting. So I'm just like navigating that. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I guess last is just what a change in environment really does for your mental health, your mindset, your motivation. I have been doing some body doubling. I really love it because my sister and I were both like revamping our personal brands. And it was really fun to just like be on Zoom silently together, work like for like 45 minutes in silence, and then check in, like, okay, show me your progress. I'll give you feedback, vice versa, and then do another 45-minute block. But it's amazing what happens when you just have someone silently on the other side, virtually holding you accountable. And I'm just learning that, like, yeah, I need that. Like, I have way too much agency and freedom over my life that I know that there is no punishment or consequence from just doing whatever I want. And I think there's a level of like, I've earned this, I've earned my leisure. I've earned my freedom. I've earned agency over my time. And so there's this rebelliousness that I overcome daily from like, I don't have to get out of bed. I have worked so hard in the last 20 years to earn the right to stay in bed all day if I want. And at the same time, I'm like, but is that who I want to be? Because on average, if I do that once a week, how many days am I losing that could be spent just in a slightly more productive way? And I'm all about like not creating machines out of ourselves. I don't think the hyper productive version of ourselves is idealistic, but is not realistic. And we do not need to continue to pursue that version because I don't think that version is fun to be, to hang around, to talk to. And I think the more we lean into loving ourselves for who we are versus like what we can do, I think that's always going to be the healthiest like place to be. And there are people in your life that will love you just because of who you are, not what you can do for them, not what you've accomplished in life, not the amount of books you read a year. Like, get to a place where you realize that you are loved just for existing. And through that, you can find motivation and aspiration to create from that place. Yeah. Okay. Got a little philosophical at the end there, but don't you love this is a the Mess and the Budgetnista Target collaboration from 2020. Oh, my nails match my kind of my shirt. That was really nice. Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and get this uploaded before y'all come for me. Yes, I am 12 hours late, but got her done. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this was what you needed. And if it wasn't, I'll try again next week. Bye.